Wales know all about this competition, having finished 4th last time around. It's a busy time for the Philippines, who have a packed schedule ahead this year, including the small matter of a World Cup in July. How Wales must envy the prospect of that. Well, the teams are out, and we'll bring you the team news in just a moment, and the key team news from a Welsh point of view at goalkeeper. Details of that to come, but first, the national anthems.
And now please, we are standing for the national anthem, starting with Philippines.
Welsh anthem, as ever, sung with gusto by Gemma Granger's players. The referee this evening is Lucy Solkova of the Czech Republic. And from a Welsh point of view, we talked about that big change, and it's in goal. Safia Middleton-Patel, her first game for the Welsh senior team, the 18-year-old from Manchester United. One of 2 changes from the draw against Finland in November. The other change seeing Kerry Holland in for Jess Fishlock, who's not even on the bench this evening. We wait to see why that is the case. As far as the Philippines are concerned, exciting times for them. The pride of their country heading to the World Cup. Many have come through the US collegiate system. In fact, 10 of the 11 have been educated in the US, even born in the US as well. So a different path for many of their players compared to Wales, as we see Sophie Ingle there shake hands with Tanayanis, the captain of Philippines, and alongside me, Gwenan Harris, former Wales international. And Gwenan, I suppose the main talking point to start off with is that change in goal. For so long when we've done these commentaries, we've seen Laura O'Sullivan between the sticks, but it's a different keeper tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's the perfect opportunity when you're, preparing for what will be, some big important qualifiers now come the end of the year in a friendly tournament. I know, obviously, there is a cup at stake, but it is a friendly competition. this is a perfect opportunity to expose a player who is so well thought of. Just signed his first professional contract with Manchester United to senior environment football.
She has been talked about for a long time, and I think it was just the case of when and not if that she would get the chance, and that's with respect to the keepers above her in the pecking order, the likes of O'Sullivan and Olivia Clark. But what an opportunity for this teenager from Manchester United, as you say, Gwen, and just signing her first professional deal at Old Trafford. The first player in the Welsh team of Indian origin as well, so many firsts with this keeper that I think many Welsh fans have great high hopes for. And just to remind you, Philippines go to the World Cup, but what a schedule they have ahead of them, Gwen. And in April, they have their Olympic qualifiers. In May, the Southeastern Asian Games. World Cup in July, and then September, they then have the Asian Games, where they go to China. So it's a packed fixture schedule ahead for them.
Yeah, they'll be racking up some caps, that's for sure. But perfect preparation for the World Cup. You know, that's what you want. You want that continuity of games, to develop partnerships and just get that momentum whilst we're building to a competition. You know, very, very exciting for them, their first appearance in the World Cup, and you know, in an exciting group actually, with New Zealand, Norway and Switzerland.
Well, I can imagine the excitement back in the Philippines ahead of that World Cup campaign, which I'm sure the whole country is talking about. Fortunately for Wales, it was one step too far, losing against Switzerland in that playoff, which has to be put to bed now, I think, Gwen, because it hurt at the time, and I'm sure Gemma Granger and her team are still hurting, but it has to be put to bed, and it could be an early advance into the Filipino box, but cleared away. It was Kerry Holland with the first attacking touch for Wales.
Oh, I absolutely love that. You know, attack is the best form of defence, as they say. You know, go forward, and you've seen straight away from the kick-off, just a positive mindset and playing the ball quickly. We really want to see Wales getting back to trying to dominate games like they started to when Gemma Granger first came in. I think they reverted back a fair bit at the back end of the last campaign, so hopefully see Wales get a lot of the ball.
And it's Wales doing all the attacking at the moment in this first minute. Philippines quite happy to sit off this Welsh team who like to get the ball on the deck. Is Rachel Rowe in a more forward position. We have seen her adopted as a full-back, but it's Lily Woodham at left-back. And as Gemma Evans there plays it into Hayley Ladd, Rhiannon Roberts now has the ball. These are all familiar names for fans of the Welsh team. And there is a familiar spine to this Welsh team. No Jess Fishlock, interestingly, tonight. And one could only assume that that is enforced, or whether they're resting her for other games.
Yeah, well, let's not forget, in terms of her season out in the US, you know, they aren't back to playing yet, so they're actually in the middle of pre-season. So, you know, someone with so much experience, way over 100 caps, there was no need for her to be playing. And Gemma Granger, everybody knows what she could bring to the team, so she's building up her fitness. But as we've come to expect with Wales, you know, that usual four at the back, Sophie Ingle then holding. We've got Rachel Rowe playing in that position that Jess Fisher normally holds, and then the three up top.
And it's a chance for Holland to get the ball in here. Looking for Jones on that back post. Well, the ball may have drifted out before it got to Carrie Jones. A player who impressed us all so much in World Cup qualifying.
It's a good ball actually from Kerry Holland, considering that she's not, you know, she didn't even like a glance up really, but just sticking it, knowing, you know, that there'll be a player making the run towards the back post. Just mistimed run from Carrie Jones.
Green. Give the support in Roberts, instead going back to Hayley Ladd. Roberts again. Green has made the run, but there's the short option of Van Harrod James. Ingle, as ever, in that central midfield area as well. There's Gemma Evans. Trying to find the run of Rowe. And eventually cleared away by Long for Philippines. Well, there's a frantic nature of Philippines at the moment. Wales on the front foot with 3 minutes into this game. Clearly Gemma Granger's intention is to get into them early on.
Yeah, and you would hope so, you know. you look at the rankings, Wales ranked 32nd in the world, the Philippines 53rd. You would expect Wales to be dominating possession. It's maybe in the next games in this competition against the likes of Iceland and Scotland, where they're ranked above Wales, can they try and be positive and get on the ball, get on the front foot instead of sitting back? The last game, the last couple of games, Wales played against Switzerland in that playoff qualifier, 28% possession. I don't think you can afford to have that little amount of possession when you're trying to reach a major tournament. So hopefully, as we said, we'll see Wales be a bit braver in this competition.
Well, they've certainly had the lion's share of possession at the moment, as we see a hearty bunch of Wales fans on the far side of the screen. And it's Evans to Ingle of Chelsea. Woodham of Reading, supported by Carrie Jones. Good battle there with Barker, and eventually it goes out for a throw. Well, Lily Woodham getting forward, and I know that she is a player that you have been calling for to have more chances in the senior team under Gemma Granger, Gwenan.
Yeah, she's always made a great impression when she's come off, or great impact when she's come off the bench. I just like the balance that it brings with having a naturally left footer playing in that position. I used to feel sometimes Rachel Rose played really well there, but she tended to cut back inside, and it would cut that channel pass off the option off quite a lot of the times.
Rowe, good switch of play to Rhiannon Roberts. Philippines remain very organised in their two defensive banks, as they drive the ball forward up towards Flanagan. But Hayley Ladd will just guide this out for a goal kick, using her experience there, Hayley Ladd, against Flanagan, who is from West Virginia originally, as a Filipino mother, but has scored 3 goals in her 24 caps so far. Here's Ladd. Harry James switching in at right back there as Roberts moves forward. In fairness, I think James can play anywhere. Gemma Evans, who has forged that partnership with Hayley Ladd. We saw that during the World Cup campaign. You have that understanding at the back of the Welsh defence. Here's James, patient stuff. Wales just happy to have possession.
Yeah, it's good to see them actually working the ball from side to side, just trying to pull, players out of positions, trying to create openings. Pace of pass has been quite good so far as well, which is obviously helping.
Rowe was battling for it with Randall.
Always seems windy in this arena. The games that we've seen in Finland back in November, I think the ball just actually was being held up there and just maybe just taken away from Rachel Rowe.
Well, I think viewers could look at that corner flag just behind the goalkeeper in shot there to see just how windy it is. Maybe something for Wales to take advantage of if they have the wind with them. Woodham took the touch. Had to take evasive action as Quezada came in after her. Ladd against Flanagan again. Now James picking up the ball. Talk about young players coming through. Of course, there has to be that time when the likes of Fishlock and Ingle, Rhiannon Roberts, all these experienced players, and Harry James, will be in the latter part of their careers. Some are now, but there has to be players coming through.
Indeed, and I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of us have been calling for more opportunities for younger players.
Nice through ball to Ingle. Green is onside. Couldn't convert the cross. James has gone down. Well, you look at other Welsh players in that sort of scenario to see if they were going to call for the penalty, and they didn't.
Do you know, I think it is a penalty because she gets there first. It's just that she's quite laboured in going down. I think if she goes down a little bit quicker, then it maybe gives the referee more of a thought.
The Czech referee was well placed. But Wales, with a vast amount of possession so far, but no real shots on goal. Just that Kerry Holland cross at the moment. And here is Holland. Does well to get the cross in towards Carrie Jones. And Philippines struggling to get it away. They do so eventually through Alicia Barker. But it's the wide players who look the more inventive for Wales at the moment. And that was the penalty incident.
Yeah, I think she's caught there. But as I said, she's quite laboured in the way she went down. That's a mark of the women's game, a little bit more honest in those situations.
Woodham. Characteristic of Ingle that to give the ball away, and it's a chance for Egsvik to find Flanagan. It's got Frillis in support. Here's Kazada back to Egsvik, who has represented Norway at under-23 level. This year Barker trying to get the ball forward to Flanagan. Woodham getting there first. Nearly 10 minutes played in Pinnata, and the big question is, should Wales have had a penalty? It was Anhara James who went down in the box. Gwennan Harris alongside me certainly felt that it should have been a penalty, but the referee from the Czech Republic waved it away, and Wales not really having any chances on goal at the moment with 10 minutes played. Wales 0, Philippines 0. And the ball back towards the goalkeeper, McDaniel. Yes, occasionally we will be joined by listeners from BBC Radio Wales, so we'll keep them updated as well. But so far, Gwennan, I mean, it's all very neat and tidy from Wales, but they just need to find that breakthrough. Only 10 minutes gone, though.
Yeah, all need to tidy until we get into that final third. And it's, again, just a question of, making the right decision, the right way to pass. And can we find that, that clinical edge that we've been lacking? We've actually struggled for goals of late. We've scored 4 in the last 6. It's definitely the area of the game that...
Green's header. Well, Holland in there too. It just rolls to Olivia McDaniel, who's unattached at the moment, no club. Former Milwaukee Panthers player. There's Rachel Rose cross, this time using her right foot, just as adept as using her left.
Yeah, just that area that Wales need to improve, as I said, in the final third, decision making, the pace of pass, the way to pass, and choosing the right options. But I do feel at times as well, Wales needs to get more numbers forward. Times can be a little bit defensive minded. When you're playing against opposition that are lower ranked, you'd expect to have more numbers joining in. Those late runs from midfield as well.
James dropping deep to pick up the ball and releasing Rowe. Sliding interception from the captain Anis. And here's Barker. Well, Philippines have got a tough job ahead of them when we talk about that World Cup in July. That group stage will include Switzerland, who they play in Dunedin, then it's New Zealand in Wellington, and then Norway in Auckland. So there are 3 really tough teams to play.
Yeah, of course you expect that when you're playing in a World Cup, but they've not long played New Zealand actually. Lost by 2 goals to 1, so I think they'll be pretty happy with that performance, up to build on. I think that'll be a really tight group actually, a really interesting group to watch. I think you've got quite similar teams. Obviously Norway had a really disappointing Euros, they'll be wanting to bounce back from that. We know we're not going to discuss any more about Switzerland because we don't want to go over that heartbreak again. And obviously Wales have played New Zealand quite a few times of late and come out on the better side actually of those games.
See the Philippines very organised in defence. Wales haven't found that breakthrough just yet, but they could have it here through Green. Barker back to the goalkeeper, McDaniel. Not the best of clearances, but they are a pretty organised back four that's tough to get through. And in addition to those games that they played late last year, of course you mentioned the 2 undefeated New Zealand, they drew and lost to both Costa Rica and Chile. So drew and lost on 2 occasions against both of those teams. And their last outing in Sydney, a 9-0 win against Papua New Guinea. So certainly an argument for saying they're the best Southeast Asian team. And it'll be interesting to see what they can do in the World Cup. And here's Quezada. So calm from Hayley Ladd. No rush at all.
She just reads the play so well. You know, the distances that she's covering. She played centre half here, but plays centre midfield for the club side, Manchester United.
Here's Holland. Heavy hit cross again. Well, whether she was looking for Jones, I'm not sure. It was probably a bit too much on that cross.
Yeah, just for me, look to maybe whip that in across the front, keep it nice. Oh, she can't keep it low, to be fair, so she's having to lift it, but there's just too much on. You want to be lifting that towards the back post, just giving the player the opportunity to run onto the ball, to attack the ball.
Earlier in the Pinatar Cup, Iceland 2, Scotland 0. Well, Scotland got a great recent history in this tournament, although Wales did beat them last time out. Scotland former winners, but 2-0 to Iceland earlier on BBC's online services.
Joe, the Scots dominated that game. She had 60% possession. They actually had 21 shots, only 4 on target. Iceland, 3 shots on target, 2 goals. It just shows the ruthless nature of international football.
Flanagan at the end of this. Gemma Evans this time just shielding the ball out for the goal kick. And as debuts go for Safia Middleton-Patel, she hasn't really had anything to do, which is good in many ways. But I think we're all intrigued and eager to see how she performs when a few pot shots are taken. As it is, I think she'll be happy. But it's all very comfortable for Wales at the moment, albeit with a scoreline at 0-0. Evans. Ladd has got the option of Rowe. Could go right to Roberts. Does choose Rowe.
I just love to see those players that are getting into those little gaps in midfield just be on the half turn when they receive the ball. So often that, you know, they're facing backwards, that ball goes into them and it's a pass back. You know, it's so easy to defend against when the ball's in front of you. Like, if you've got someone that's half turn running at you, it's a lot more difficult. It's open up more opportunities, more channels to play through.
Well, there was a collision there, and the game may have to be stopped there because there was a nasty fall for Quezada. Wales play on, and it could fall to Rowe. Good save from McDaniel. Well, Wales were not obliged to stop play, even though there may be a player down for Philippines, albeit off the pitch. But it fell to Rachel Rowe, and from close range she opted for power.
Yeah, I think she just had to really, you know, she reacted quickly. Yeah, it's a good save, actually, to be fair to McDaniel. She has to do a huge amount, but she closed the gap in the first instance, which is obviously what gave her the advantage then.
Quezada is up and back on the field, thankfully. It was a nasty fall over the advertising hoarding, and it wasn't deliberate, the collision from Carrie Jones, and I think Carrie Jones showed concern for her opponent. Luckily, no harm done. Here's James. Classy player on the ball. Hayley Green, another experienced player in this Wales team. Dropping very deep for a centre forward. Looking for Holland. That's a lovely ball. Holland's got, well, she almost beat the tackle of Cowart.
But going back to my point earlier, Simon, about getting more bodies in the box, so Hayley Green has dropped deeper to get on the ball. She played that ball forward to Kerry Holland then. You've only got Carrie Jones in the box. Players have to recognise, you know, that awareness of positions and players around them to get in the box, make those runs. Wales aren't going to score more goals if they do not commit more bodies forward.
Carrie Jones go on the outside to Rowe, just hit her ankle, they're in step, and out for a goal kick. Not a licence for Rachel Rowe to get forward this evening, which we know she loves to do.
Yeah, we see, you see her play in those positions regularly for Reading as well. To be fair, I think she's played possibly every position on the park apart from in goal. And she's so versatile, but it's good to see her. She's one of those players that will get on the half turn, will drive at defenders. As we know, she can go both ways. She's really hard to get off the ball. No centre of gravity.
Evans went up for the header with Flanagan, who helps her up. Wales still in possession with Rowe. Not too many options though. Ingle joins the attack, does find Carrie Jones. Woodham. Since Wales go so far, it's just that final bit. Rachel Rowe, though, I was feeling that she should have given Wales the lead, to take anything away from the fact that it was a very good save. Ball over the top towards screen. McDaniel there again.
Yeah, to be fair to the Philippines, they're really organised, in this shape so far. I'm sure they've done a lot of work and will continue to do a lot of work on that. You'd expect them to, especially going into the World Cup, to adopt that type of style of play where they're happy to sit back and then they're just looking to counter. And they're not a team that dominates possession, so they've been organised in this shape so far, but Wales just need to first and foremost need to be better with the play in the final third.
Holland's onside here. She's got Cowart to beat. And it's Cowart who got there before Rowe, but here's Ingle. James. Good vision. Away by Randall. Back to James. Eggsvik with the important touch. Ingle finds Holland. Up against Cowart. Deflected cross, almost found Green. And out for a corner kick.
Yeah, better seeing players like Sophie Ingle making that run. Getting towards the front post, just taking the defender away. Nearly got on the end of it as well. She's in good form for her club. Champions League quarter-final for her to look forward to at the end of March against Lyon.
And still so vital for Gemma Granger and Wales. And Harriet James with the corner here. As you can see there, most players sort of camped on the penalty spot. It's a short one. Touch from Jones was a heavy one.
So you could tell that there was something going to be played because of the angle of the way Harriet James was lining up. Never looked like she was going to whip the ball into the box. Just pity of the heavy touch from Carrie Jones there, because set pieces in the area that they work on quite well on in training, creating different scenarios.
James to take this throw. Hayley Ladd. Pinpoint to Woodham. No doubt that Wales have dominated this game. We don't have the luxury of ongoing stats on this stream, unfortunately, but one would suggest, in terms of possession percentage, be overwhelmingly in Wales's favour. And Philippines expected that, I'm sure, but to their credit, as you said, Gwenan, they have been very organised at the back. And that's down to this man. Saw it in shot there, Alan Stajcic, Australian coach, will lead his team to the World Cup. Carrie Jones of Leicester. Gemma Evans, Rondha-born Reading player. And a rare touch for Safia Middleton Patel. And what she must be feeling tonight. You never forget your first cap, I'm sure, Gwenan.
No, you don't. It's a hard feeling to explain, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure she's just, you know, what a year for her so far. First pro contract and first senior cap as well. Hopefully many more to come in the future, which I'm sure there will be.
Yeah, O'Sullivan dropping to the bench tonight. Olivia Clark also on that bench as the other goalkeeper. Josie Green, Helen Ward, Hannah Kane, Elise Hughes, Charlie Escort, Georgia Walters, Megan Wynn, Anna Philby and Esther Morgan. Great to see Esther Morgan back, by the way. She had her injury issues.
Yeah, her and Hannah Kane had real long-term injuries. Brilliant to see both back. I'll never forget Esther Morgan's performance at home against France on that left-hand side. She was absolutely superb.
Yeah, it was accomplished, wasn't it? Beyond her years. Tottenham player. As Ladd wins another goal kick. Although it's gone out for a corner, the referee disagreed, and no arguments from Hayley Ladd, but certainly the first real chance for Philippines here. And the first real test, you feel, for Middleton Patel. It's Anis who will take this corner kick. It's not a bad one. Well, it could have gone anywhere. As it is, it ended up on the head, I think, of Hallie Long. And Wales get away with it. The first defensive test for Gemma Granger's team.
Yeah, Wales seemed quite nervy then, I'd say.
Randall, did she handle it? The referee sort of reacted to the Welsh protests, I think, there. I'm sure we'll get a replay, but...
Well, I think from her angle, the referee, she couldn't really see it, but it was a great bring down with her arm. I mean, it couldn't have been any clearer.
Yeah.
But going back, yeah, it was quite a nervy corner. That I think that's the only thing where you don't tend to see a lot of younger keeper at that age anyway coming through because of the experience, and a lot of that comes down to communication as well. So that's something that, you know, I'm sure is an area that she'll really need to work on and just be confident enough, brave enough to make those calls, because she's in an area of the pitch where she can see everything, but in those situations from the corner she has to be commanded.
Some good play from Wales here, from Woodham in particular. And Rowe, this time finding Rhiannon Roberts. To that near post, looking for Holland. Anis with the clearance. Well, that foray forward, that corner kick will have boosted Philippines a little bit. Other than that, Wales have been rarely troubled. Given away. And on the break now is Egsvik. Trying to find Flanagan. And a heavy pass. There we see Gemma Granger, who will herself, I'm sure, have taken a few weeks or months just to process that Switzerland defeat, but very much in the past now, and the focus is what's ahead.
Yeah, they have to learn from that, don't they? You know, they have to make sure that, you know, they're not making those mistakes that they made in the Swiss game again. And for me, they need to be more positive in their mindset approaching games like that.
Jones looking positive here. May fancy the shot. Could go anywhere. Holland goes to ground. And in the end, Holland are judged to have handled the ball on the floor. Well, Green and Holland furious with the decision. But it was a real mess in that penalty area.
Yeah, that's where you want to see Carrie Jones, though, in situations like this. 1v1, driving at defenders. That's where she's best. I just got a bit scrappy then, didn't it? But Kerry Holland's been playing well for the club side, Liverpool. She scored actually against Reading, so against, you know, quite a few of her teammates this evening. To start of February. It's good to see her playing regularly in the WSL.
Jones beaten to it by Barker. Woodham to take the throw. Wales getting closer here. Evans. Aaron James. Again dropping deep to pick this one up. the option of Ladd. Pass to Roberts, intercepted, and intercepted well by Sophia Harrison.
That's one of the strengths when you're playing a 4-4-2 situation, a 4-4-2 system, just the defensive structure that you've got with those two lines of four. I think Wales need to just try and exploit those gaps in between the two backs of four a bit better. Making sure, as I said before, you know, they're on the half turn in those situations, not just then ready to play safe, play the ball backwards and sideways, facing up and driving at the defenders.
Evans in towards Ingle. Well, it was quite a heavy hit pass in towards Sophie Ingle.
I was just about to say, Sam, great position from Ingle, exactly what we talked about between the lines, but then the pass into it.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Oh, it's impossible to get on the half turn when you're receiving the ball at that height.
It's nice to see Sophie getting forward as well. Has much quality in offensive positions as she does at the back. We've seen her as a defender as well. Evans. Hayley Ladd lets it go out for a throw. And goes to Middleton Patel. James. Well, the pass then was probably a little bit too slow in towards Carrie Jones on that occasion. It is a free kick for James. Cleverly done. Holland, Woodham. Holland with Barker to beat. Woodham. Try and Flanagan, no. Flanagan recovered to do very well, in fact, there, helping out her defenders. Slightly limping there. Sure, Gemma Granger will be keeping a keen eye on that, Gwenan. Doesn't look too comfortable, does she? No,
she doesn't, which is a worrying sign. She's been absolutely superb for Wales, especially over the last 2 years.
As we say, that partnership with Ladd, as good as any you'll see at any level. But if she's limping, and with games to come in this Pinatar Cup, 2 in fact, Gemma Granger may not want to take too many risks here. James, another deep position for Harriet James, does like to dictate the play. Evans seems to have shrugged that off, but we'll be keeping a keen eye on her, I'm sure. She plays the ball to Ladd. Green with a flick on, nice idea, looked for Roberts, found the stand instead. Yeah, but
actually better play in general in the movements up top, so seen Holland actually come deep towards the ball, and then Kaylee Green using the space in behind.
And as we're joined by Radio Wales listeners, we have played 32 minutes and it's 0-0 between Wales and Philippines. A frustrating 32 minutes, really, because Wales have conjured up one real chance, and that's Rachel Rowe testing the goalkeeper McNeil from close range. And Harriet James was brought down in the box, maybe should have been a penalty. But the one positive, at least, is that there hasn't been much for debutant goalkeeper Safia Middleton Patel to do much. She is 18 years of age, winning her first cap. 32 minutes played, and it's Wales 0, Philippines 0. And a corner. So a chance for Wales to take the lead here. Daniel has hasn't had to do much, but what she has had to do, she's done very well, made some important saves. Wales perhaps disappointed they haven't tested her more. You can see the wind that you were on about, Gwenan. A swirling corner perhaps to come from Anhara James. It was driven in and it almost crept in that near post. Well, whether that was meant by James, I mean, Kaylee Green could have got on the end of it. It certainly caught everyone by surprise. I think she meant that.
I'm not sure. I think she got caught a little bit under the ball. I don't think she followed through on it how she would have liked to. If you see the replay again. Yeah,
she is capable of the old knuckleball, as they would call it. But
yeah, they're just disappointing because when you look at the height of the Wales players, you know, I think I've mentioned in previous commentaries, Rhiannon Roberts, Gemma Evans, they're good in the air. And you just want to put it into that area where they can run on and attack, because you know I think set piece is an area of the Wales game that we need to utilise more and better, considering that we do struggle to create good opportunities and open players. We're seeing struggle to create anything really in this open 35 minutes against an organised Philippines defence. So set pieces becomes even more important then.
And Philippines can expect this in the World Cup, can't they, against even better opposition, you could argue, than Wales, likes of Switzerland and Norway. New Zealand, as hosts as well, will be no slouches. So defensively, they need to be structured and strong, so important for them. And they have been, with 35 minutes played. Wales have not found that way through.
Well, they have been, and it's the small details as well. So when they are going to press, that they're showing players in the right areas. That they've obviously identified that. You can see 16, for example, and there that has come out to press. Harrison is showing down the wing.
Cross in towards Green. Has found its way to Ingle. That's a lovely pass to James. Oh, well, the bounce wasn't favourable. Maybe James could have read it a little bit quicker, but that's the type of movement that we want to see, and the type of deliveries from Sophie Ingle, who's on the ball now.
Yeah, well, you know, the NFL was on the weekend, isn't it? Like, she's your quarterback. You want Sophie Ingle dictating the play. Her range of passing is insanely good off both feet.
Green was onside there, and they still got it. It's a nice pass from Carrie Jones, and that's a nice pass from Rowe to find Roberts in space. Roberts has time, and the delivery perhaps should have been a little better, given the time that she had.
Exactly, as you said there, there's no excuses when you're not under pressure, and that must be the fifth cross that's been overhit from a Welsh player in this first half. And as we've said, I know I'm repeating myself again, but it's this type of play that Wales really have to improve on if they are going to reach a major tournament. They have to be better in the final third, more clinical, better in the decision making, and in that final pass.
Ingle. Holland on the turn. Finding Jones. James with a shot from Rowe. Good block from Randall, and the break could be on for Philippines. The break is on. Frillis, rare touch for her, up against Ladd. And it's Blue Shirts getting forward on this occasion now, and well, that attack was fleeting. Rachel Rowe was giving the ball away again. Well, they were all queuing up for Wales. Eventually it was Rachel Rowe who pulled the trigger.
It was actually a good play because Wales played the ball a lot quicker when two-touch pass it. I don't mind that, when you've got half a yard there, then you want to be pulling the trigger. But what was pleasing actually was when the Philippines counter-attack, just the recovery runs of the Welsh players, so many bodies quick to get back into position.
And the counter-attack was a blistering one. You always get the impression, with Hayley Ladd in particular, there's a bit of possession for the away side, but you always Here's Flanagan. Gemma Evans racing across, great tackle, well timed.
And she loves those situations where she could just use her physical presence. It's nice to see slide tackles haven't quite gone out the game.
Absolutely, yes. I was about to say exactly the same thing. It is an art, and you know, when they're timed well.
That's why it's nice to see the game still played on grass as well. You know, I know in terms of weather and pitches, but you know, the artificial pitches, they're just not the same, and the ball actually doesn't bounce the same on them either. I find them a lot more difficult. Or I found them a lot more difficult to play on.
They probably tear your knee up as well if you go in for a tackle like that Gemma Evans did. Danger for Wales here. And Egsvik trying the... Well, it was Frillis, sorry, who had that left-footed attempt. Probably just sums up what Philippines have had to offer at the moment. Not much, but there's always that feeling that they could shock Wales or scare them. Here is Egsvik. Norwegian-born player, did represent Norway at under-23 level. And formerly of Charlton Athletic as well. Woodham. Didn't read the run of Jones, or perhaps Jones's run should have been better. Either way, it fizzled out, and that's a shame, because Wales at times, on the left and the right, look like they can get some really good positions at times. As you say, Gwen, and it's perhaps been the delivery and that final bit that's let them down.
Yeah, it's just a hallmark of Welsh play over the last year or so, just maybe not as slick as we were, as I said, 2 years ago when Gemma Grainger first came in, for whatever reason that may be. But yeah, it's something that Wales definitely need to improve on. And I think, you know, in games like this, you tend to see once you get the first goal, you know, just settles the nerves down and people get a lot more comfortable in their play, a lot more confident in their play as well.
Ingle. James in space. Well, spots Holland. And Kerry Holland struggling to keep the ball in there. Maybe taking a bit of a knock on the sidelines. Again, the thought is there for Wales, the execution perhaps not so.
Yeah, it was a great ball in, actually, Bang Hadji. He's got in that little pocket of space, as we talked about before, between the midfield and the defence. And then just looking for that back post run. I think Kerry Holland, to be fair, had kept her width to start with, and that's why she was maybe just a little bit, well, I won't say out of position, but took her a bit longer to get across to that pass.
I know I got shouted at you for that side of the cone. I don't know what difference it makes, but...
Well, it would be the ideal time to get a goal just before half-time. It's been... I don't know if frustrating is the word for Wales. Frustrated in the fact that they haven't scored, but plenty of the ball. Just need a notch up in intensity, maybe, in that second half.
Yeah, the pace of pass actually has been better than it has been for a long time. But yeah, it still needs improving, still needs to play quicker. Just for me, it's a little bit more positive in the mindset in those positions. Can you get on the half turn? Or if the ball's played into one of the forwards, can there be more runners supporting from deeper, quicker?
Jones against Barker, back to Woodham. Ladd up against Frillis.
Hayley Ladd, by the way, did an unbelievable form for Man United. He was up for one of the contenders for Player of the Month last month. Her team and debutant Sophia. Their team at the top of the league in the WSL.
Woodham's cross, and it's to James. Awkward contact. And it wasn't the easiest of efforts to take on, in fairness.
well, nearly went out for the throw-in in the end. But I actually don't mind that in terms of, you know, positive mindset. Just coming across there. If you don't, you know, don't buy the ticket for the lottery, you're not going to win. If you don't shoot, you're not going to score. She just cut across it, and you could see that's why it was spinning out then and continued to spin away.
Ball to Flanagan. Evans beat her to it. Here's Cazada. Finds Frillis. Good tackle. Again, Hayley Ladd up to the task, and the break is on. Green has been quiet so far in this first half. Ingle to Holland. Ingle again. Here's Rowe. Can Wales finish the first half with a positive here and with a goal? Holland tackled by Randall, and is that a penalty? Yes, it is. Rash tackle from Randall. And Wales have the opportunity to take the lead just before half-time. It was Roberts who went down, and the Czech referee giving the penalty kick.
Well, Roberts obviously reached the ball first. We could see that clearly. Randall did well at first to get that initial, and then, oh yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, you see from any angle, you know, Rhiannon Roberts is quick. Randall's really unlucky there. But she's dived in, hasn't she? That's the problem.
Kaylee Green, after goal number 17 in a Welsh shirt. And what a time to score as well, just before half-time. Can she beat McDaniel in the Philippines goal? It's Kaylee Green of Brighton and Hove Albion with the responsibility to put Wales 1-0 up. Big breath from Green, and a fine finish too, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. And Wales at half-time lead by 1-0, and Kaylee Green with that finish.
Yeah, she just gave it the ice, and she really composed finish. Daniel's got great history from the spot kits as well. She was a hero last year, but cool, composed finish, and a great time to get the opening goal for Wales.
So it is half-time in this Pinitar Cup match, and it's Wales who lead by 1-0, and this is the reason why. Kaylee Green sending the goalkeeper the wrong way, and that is her 17th goal as a Welsh international, and a fine finish it was too. Half-time, and it's Wales 1, Philippines 0.
Hindi pwede.
Pwede man. I just have to do a live.
Sige, sige. Oh no! I'll follow you.
¿Vamos por el bocata o no? Sí. Uno a uno y uno conmigo. Sí. Pero han traído eso para... Yo te lo damos si lleva una mochilita por allá. ¿Ahí me han traído la mochila? Sí. No sé, yo la última vez, tío, cuando me devolviste la mía, claro, de hecho que no lo usé al principio, la cogí y llevaba una... algo así redondo de ese tamaño. Pero esos pequeños, claro, no.
and like AFP Google's Exegati.
boy.
And welcome back to this coverage of the Pinatar Cup match between Wales and Philippines. Wales leading by a goal to nil, thanks to Kaylee Green's penalty just before half-time. And it's Philippines kicking things off. No changes for either side for this second half. In terms of play, what changes would you like to see from a Welsh point of view, Gwenan?
Well, as I've said, before, in terms of the play in the final third, I think Wales need to be better, more accurate and quicker with their play as well. Quality of delivery, the final pass has to be better. I'd just like to see more bodies joining in as well, getting forward. Can they be more positive in their mindset of getting on that half turn, looking for the pass forward quicker?
Well, the goalkeeper, Middleton Patel, the debutant, maybe more touches there in the last few seconds than maybe she did in the entire first half. I say that glibly, but it was a scary moment there with that back pass to Hayley Ladd. Didn't come to anything for the Philippines, who have defensively performed pretty well. They did for most of the 45 minutes. until the player in question, the player on the ball now, Dominic Randall, gave away that penalty. I don't think there was any arguments against that from the Philippines bench. It was a pretty rash tackle on Rhiannon Roberts, which Kaylee Green put away. Roberts with a header. And already Philippines getting a little bit more forward, or more further forward than they did the entirety of the first half.
Well, yeah, well, you could just see with the way that they were actually pressing. And straight away, the Welsh defence from the kick-off, forcing Rhiannon Roberts and Hayley Ladd right back.
Well, the cross comes in from that left-hand side, and it's a good turn and a good shot from Quezada. And the first real save for Safia Middleton Patel to make.
Yeah, she'd be happy, you know, to get her first proper touches. She had a couple of passes back to the first half. Obviously, have that corner. But first, solid hands, good positioning, moving her feet well. Everyone's, you know, straight at her. Still.
Holland. And it does seem as though there have been a few changes for the Philippines. We'll get those confirmed in just a moment. And I believe Guiu is on. That is Katrina Guiu. And the other player as well is Eva Madarang. So we'll get confirmation of who they've replaced. I think those changes took place just before our stream went live and active for the second half. And it was Guiu with the shot, in fact, straight at Middleton Patel. Easy enough for the young goalkeeper. Big boot forward to Kaylee Green. Nice layoff to Rowe. He's got the support of Rhiannon Roberts here.
I'd just like to see Rhiannon Roberts go forward onto that ball instead of waiting for it to come across. She's giving Randall more time then to get herself into position and actually affect the play. So when she goes to meet the ball, she could just run onto it with more pace, probably even more likely to take it beyond Randall as well.
Roberts to Hayley Ladd. And it's back out to Rhiannon Roberts. Good interception. And here is Guiu. Katrina Guiu, born in Washington, DC, 29 years of age. It was a big part of the team that qualified for the World Cup. And here is Anis, the captain. Short pass to Eggersvik. Here's Randall. And there's been a definite change in approach from Philippines. They're on the ball a lot more in this second half. Here's Rachel Rowe. Ingle to Rowe. And again, it's back to this passing style for Wales and just keeping the ball.
They need this now, Simon, because obviously the Philippines have come out with a little bit more pace. Just need to get hold of the ball and let themselves dictate.
Here's Ingle. And as we welcome Radio Wales listeners to our coverage once more, we have played 50 minutes in Pinatar, and it's Wales 1, Philippines 0, courtesy of that Kaylee Green goal, a penalty, in fact. And Philippines, in fact, in the second half have come out far more adventurous, Gwenan, than what we saw in that first 45 minutes. They had to be, really. Yeah,
just a bit more intensity to their play. There's no real change in formation. Still the traditional 4-4-2. As we can see anyway, but they've come out with a bit more purpose, Tetsi, in the way that they press it.
Good play from Jones, out to Holland. This is a chance for Wales inside that penalty area. Rowe has gone down, it's come out to James outside of the box who hit it. But to no avail, 50 minutes played, Wales 1, Philippines 0. Back out to Roberts. Here's Holland. Good cross into that near post, but no one was there. That's the key thing.
Joe, that's actually quite a good ball this time, because one of the first things you're taught as a centre forward or as a forward position is in terms of runs that you make. You see there's 3 Welsh players and none of them made any purposeful movement. Even if you don't get on the ball, you're going to draw players away. So somebody should be going towards the front post, somebody towards the back post, and then somebody peeling off at the penalty spot. And say any of them were in any of those positions.
Ball in towards Holland. Could be 2-0. Collided with the goalkeeper, McDaniel, and fouled the goalkeeper, according to the referee. Well, it was a ball that had to be contested from Kerry Holland, and she may well have been injured because of it.
Yeah, it was a great little ball around the corner, you see here, from Kaylee Green. A little bit heavy, for being critical, but the idea was right there, and Kerry Holland will never back out of her challenge, to be fair to it. What I think is important to talk about, Simon, is something we haven't touched upon yet, but since the last game played, obviously the equal pay that has come in, which is massive for the future. It's a real landmark occasion. I think it sets a precedent for young players that are maybe just starting the game or involved in the game, that they know that there's a clear pathway in the future there in front of them. The FAW taking women's football as seriously as they can.
Yeah, hugely positive move, and let's face it, the only logical move. There's no reason for it not to take place, although some football associations still not adopting that role, that move at the moment.
No, to be fair, with the FAW, they actually invest more than any other nation in Europe in their women's programme. As a percentage of their annual turnover. What I would say in terms of equal pay is that I think it actually brings a little bit more pressure on these girls now, because obviously the men have reached 3 major tournaments in out of the last 4. The girls have just failed, especially those last 2, so narrowly. It just brings a bit more pressure on them now to make sure that they do achieve that, because there's no excuses.
And as the ball goes back to McDaniel, I can confirm that it was Quezada and Flanagan who went off. Apologies for the lateness in that information. It sort of caught us off guard as well. And coming on, Gio and Madarang, who were both instrumental in that early chance for the Philippines. The ball goes forward again. Brought down by Barker.
It'll just be interesting for me to see at what point, if at any point, because we know Gemma Granger isn't a huge fan of substitutions, but you'd hope now in this friendly tournament, at what point she will make changes. There's some players on the bench we've mentioned before, the likes of Esther Morgan, Hannah Kane, come back from injuries. Hannah Kane actually, as I said, scored on the weekend. She started the last couple of games for Leicester, been playing well. Great to see them given an opportunity, because we know exactly what the majority of these players can do. They've been, the spine of the team for so long. In a friendly competition like this, what can the others around them do? The likes of Josie Green, Charlie Escott, Elise Hughes. Will they get their opportunity?
Rowe chasing down Randall here. Throw in. Holland opting to take it quickly. Back to Hayley Ladd. He's under pressure here from Frillis. Woodham took a touch, ran into a little bit of trouble. It was always the option of Middleton Patel.
You could just see as well, starting positions of the Philippines, they are a bit higher, so it could create more space for Wales in these areas.
Jones runs into space. Good play from Hallie Long, calmly away. Evans. Oh, Sophie Ingle found Kaylee Green from there without even looking. The ability of Sophie Ingle is sometimes it goes understated sometimes, probably at Chelsea, but not so much with Welsh supporters and those who watch the Welsh team. Incredible ability.
Oh, I think she's a big fan's favourite of the Chelsea fans as well, because I think they can appreciate just how important they've got the star names, but how much of the dirty work, the unseen work she does, which is so important. But one of the biggest things for any youngster that's watching is just, if you put a camera on her tracker, she's constantly scanning the pitch. She's constantly looking and just getting a picture for herself so that she can make passes like that, because a second before she's had a little look up. She knows where Kaylee Green is, so that she can make that pass. And she's a proactive player, not a reactive player.
What's the term the kids say? She's a baller.
I call her a Rolls Royce, but yeah.
Ball into Green. Long got there first. And it was a timely interception from Long there, because Green was free in the middle as Carrie Jones goes to take this corner kick. And Harry James has gone across as well, and it will be James, in fact, as ever, to take it. Put in some decent deliveries in the first half, hit the post even, whether she meant it or not. Less wind on this delivery here. And it's not a bad delivery towards Roberts. Went over her head, away by the Philippines.
That was a brilliant delivery by Hannah James that time. You've got it over the first defender. And Hannah Roberts so close to getting on the end of it. Those are the types of areas in that 6-yard box. Hard for goalkeeper to come out and command an area because there's so many bodies in front of her, but in an area where the Welsh players, the likes of Rhiannon Roberts, Gemma Evans, can go on and attack.
Roberts towards Ladd, almost caught, but all the time in the world for Hayley Ladd. The most laid-back player you will ever see, although that clearance wasn't the best. Well, Hannah James almost made up for it, but it's back to Ladd, who gets it away with her shin. No problem. And it's Hannah James who can launch a counter-attack into Holland. Nice play in towards Green. Still got it. Needs support. Has it in James. In goal. Rowe. In towards Jones. Well, maybe it was just a case of overpassing. Jones offside in the end.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Simon. I just think as the ball initially came to Rachel Rowe, she's on a one-on-one situation there, and just she normally loves those situations. You can't get the ball off her normally in those. You know, she backs herself, she's confident, she'll take players on. For some reason, looking for the pass back, and as you said, one pass too many.
Well, an idea of how cold it is in Pinatar is that fella with a Philippines flag wrapped round him. He's either very, very passionate, which I'm sure he is about his country. He's trying to keep warm as well. And he's certainly got a lot to look forward to. All the Philippines fans have. World Cup coming up in July. Jones trying to close down Barker. Does come to Jones eventually. And Woodham completes her run. Supposed to cut in field. Here's Rowe. Good interception from Randall. James has it for Wales. Bit of a faster pace to the game now. It's picked up a little bit. Ingle. James just trying to poke it through. It was a good tackle from Eggersvik, but Wales still have it. Jones. Woodham. Takes her time.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure then why the delay. Carrie Jones had drawn in both players. Passed the ball back. She had so much time to just get the ball in the box, but
quite a low trajectory on her delivery in the end as well. It was never going to get past Madarang.
Well, by the time she decided to make the cross, you already someone closing up the space when Carrie Jones had done the hard work of drawing, attacking two players and then releasing the ball.
Nice play for Roberts. Into that near post. Jones was sliding in too. No one could get there. Ingle still has it. Wales looking a bit more threatening in front of goal now. Good tackle from Barker on Jones, and Danger not away. Good period of pressure, this, from Gemma Granger's side. Rowe to Ingle, to Rowe. Just didn't fall for her the second time. But there's impressive, intricate play from Wales at the moment. And they're getting closer to that second.
Yeah, just quicker play in and around the box. Got more bodies. Obviously, Philippines have dropped a bit deeper at times as well. But look at the position. Ingles in there and playing the ball quicker.
Holland. Ingle still has it. Back to Holland. Rowe. Well, in the end, it goes to the goalkeeper, McDaniel, but I'm sure the cries of shoot they would have heard from some of the Wales fans in the stand. No one having a shot in the end, as Philippines are going to make a couple of substitutions here.
Yeah, and I think Wales are as well, if my BDI is correct. I'm sure I spotted Charlie Escott in the background getting some last-minute instructions.
Well, as the games come thick and fast, squad rotation as well is key. Rowe. Well, wins the free kick. Sophia Harrison had given it away. And a great chance for Wales to put it in the box here. Well, I think the Philippines bench are screaming for the substitutions to be made. But I think the free kick is going to be taken first, and it's going to be Lily Woodham. So a left-footed delivery from Woodham towards that back post. Roberts and Jones both running in.
That was a brilliant delivery. You see the wind, you know, it's taken a bit of it away as well, but it's a great delivery towards the back post in swinger.
First change, Carly Frillis coming off. And one of those coming on is Leah Caesar. Alicia Barker off and Castaneda on. So it remains to be seen how the pack is shuffled, and Anis, the captain, also being replaced. So Anis off, Barker off, Frillis off, and in their places Caesar, Castaneda. And here is Geu. To Ladd. That's the one thing about Gemma Granger. She will resist changes if need be, for better or for worse.
Well, if she doesn't make them in these tournaments, I just don't know when she ever will, to be honest, because as we mentioned, it's a friendly competition. It's the perfect opportunity to give many of these players who've been on the bench and not had an option for so many years now, 3-4 years.
Holland attacking Randall. And it's back with Hayley Ladd. Still, that Kaylee Green penalty the difference. Next up for Wales, Iceland on Saturday, Scotland next Tuesday.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, I think they will be far different of a test compared to this game. You know, I don't think Wales will be allowed to have so much possession of the ball, so much time on the ball either.
Harrison letting it run. Hayley Green marching forward. I think she thinks that she can keep it in play here. Read the pace of the ball. And Holland is down here for Wales. Well, holding a part of her face, and that is why, and if there is blood especially, the referee has to stop the play immediately. Big handshake from Harrison. I don't think there was much in terms of intent or malice. Just a flailing arm maybe, and Holland going down. But she will be seen to, and if there's blood, the rules as they are, Gwenan, has to be addressed immediately.
Yeah, as you said, there wasn't any malice or intent in that. It was just flailing arm.
Here come the changes. Hannah Kane. How wonderful to see Hannah Kane on for Carrie Jones. Hannah Kane, of course, I think impressed us all with her debut as a second-half sub against Estonia. That was back in October 21. By the way, Charlie Escott also on for Rhiannon Roberts. But Hannah Kane, I think we were all really so excited about what she was going to bring to Wales, and then unfortunately she had that ACL injury.
Yeah, you know, she hasn't played many times this year for Wales, but I genuinely felt, you know, a game like that Switzerland game in the playoffs, she would have made such a difference. She's really forward thinking. What I really like about her as well, she's got 2 feet. She'll face up and go round with either foot. She's really positive, really direct. As I said, scored on the weekend. Come back of late with Leicester.
Scored, as you know, recently against Liverpool. As the ball goes forward towards Lily Woodham, there will be a throw-in to be taken by Cesar, one of the substitutes for Philippines. And the other change, I was looking around the pitch for the other sub that has come on for Philippines, and it's Serrano, the number 13. Serrano, who plays in Stybak in Norway. So plenty of changes for the team in blue. And a chance for the likes of Escott and Kane in red. Charlie Escott won a fair few caps under Jane Ludlow. Perhaps hasn't established herself as much under Gemma Granger. As James comes across to make the tackle. Madarang plays the ball forward, looking for Guiu. Picked up by Ladd. Escott. Well, Hannah Kane has to come from the right-hand side to try and chase that down. It wasn't the most accurate of balls. Game opening up slightly with the changes. Philippines, to their credit, getting forward a lot more. Pass forward from Castaneda. Picked up by Rowe. And this is what we want to see from Rachel Rowe. Finds Holland. Kane waiting in the middle. She goes in alone. Good save. McDaniel putting it out for a corner.
Well, as you said, Simon, that's the type of play that you want to be seeing from Welsh players. You want to be seeing the wide players receiving the ball early in those one-on-one situations. And we've seen Kerry Holland earlier in the campaign score an absolute corker from a similar type of situation. It was against Kazakhstan at home. Good save in the end by the goalkeeper, but Wales need to get those forward players, Kerry Holland, Hannah Kane, the ball in those situations a lot earlier.
Well, there's lots of jostling inside that penalty area, and the assistant actually not happy with the placement of the ball on the corner arc by Lily Woodham. Only has to slightly touch it.
Well, does it after the World Cup debate with that goal?
No, sorry, yes, it's the last edge of the ball, isn't it, that has to? You're right. Apologies. By the way, it's a swinging corner that comes to nothing from Lily Woodham. Needless to say, no VAR at the Pinatar Cup at the moment. Just us on the stream. But watching Wales winning at the moment, which I'm sure many of our viewers will be happy about. We welcome people from the Philippines as well watching this stream as well. But it's Wales 1, Philippines 0, thanks to Kaylee Green. Well, the game opening up a little bit more now, Gwenanne. We hope maybe that will translate into goals.
Yeah, you'd hope there's a bit more space for those forwards in behind, and in those spaces in between then to get on the ball and just look to, for me, to just get the ball in between those lines and break lines with their passes as well. Midfielders like Sophie Ingle getting on the ball more, well, as often as she can.
James, nice pass to Rowe. Good football this. Green Rowe involved again. Oh, almost found Ingle. That would have been a superb passage of play. And Ingle managed to get on the end of it, having been involved in the build-up.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about when we were getting into those positions, but breaking lines. So the pass from Angharad James in the first place, the pass through to Ingle. Breaking lines, Ingle in the right position then, and then just quick, intricate 1-2 touch play, which is so hard to defend against.
Just a reminder, those games against Iceland and Scotland will be broadcast, as this one is, on the BBC Sport Wales website and the BBC iPlayer. High foot, I think from Ingle, free kick. Perhaps from James, there was 1 foot, it was a bit high. McDaniel has come way out of a goal here. And into the Welsh half to take this free kick. And if plans go awry here with someone like Sophie Ingle on the pitch, you never know what's going to happen.
It was a strange one.
It's directly in towards the penalty area, collected by Middleton Patel, who isn't quick to release, quite happy just to roll it out to Ingle.
I like to see that. I like to see, you know, your goalkeepers are happy to come far out the goal to receive the ball, to gather the ball, sorry.
In terms of going forward, I know Philippines haven't offered that much, but if Wales walk away with this with a clean sheet, then for a first cap for Middleton Patel, that will give her a real boost.
Oh, 100%. First cap, as you said, haven't offered much so far. She's made the 1 solitary save and she's come out for a couple like that. But she'll be happy, just nice, solid start. Nothing too spectacular.
Rowe over the head of Hannah Kane. Of Leicester, 23 years of age. Great to see her back on the pitch as Daniel prepares to take this goal kick. And as we're joined by Ready Wales listeners, 73 minutes gone here, and it's Wales 1, Philippines 0 still because of that Kaylee Green penalty. The positive from a Welsh point of view, apart from a few pot shots and chances, Carrie Jones coming close on the far post as a cross came in. Hannah Kane of Leicester onto the pitch, as well as Charlie Escort. But Hannah Kane, who has had her injury issues with an ACL injury, back in a Welsh shirt, and that is a positive for Gemma Granger's side. 74 minutes played, and it's Wales 1, Philippines 0. Ingle. And here's Gemma Evans. Lily Woodham. Any thought that Gemma Evans was going to limp off in that first half, I think, was short-sighted of me. She was limping at one stage, but she's made it tough stuff, Gemma Evans.
Oh, she's one the girl. There's no way she's coming off the pitch unless, yeah, she's told to. But as you mentioned, actually, in the first half, the partnership was formed between Hayley Ladd, Gemma Evans, was superb. Under Jane Ludlow's reign, Gemma Evans used as a left back now and again. You know, didn't always play, but she's got a great left foot as well. So both of them, you know, they balance each other out well. Gemma Evans quite quick. Hayley Ladd so composed, reads the game well.
Having two centre-backs, one right-footed, one left-footed. Nice symmetry to it.
I think so, yeah.
Here's Ingle with a bit of space. It's run to Rowe. Oh, wasn't far away. Took a deflection, and it is a corner, but Rachel Rowe inches away from making it 2-0.
Yeah, good pull back by Sophie Ingle, just changing the angle. There's been a couple of occasions where the ball's just fallen in those types of situations. And had James about 10 minutes ago, and then Rachel Rowe this time. Both of them just haven't been able to quite connect with the ball as they would have liked to. Ingle does well there to change the angle.
Short corner, or low corner at least, from Anhara James, always looking to surprise with her deliveries. And on this one, it's a short one to Kane. Low drive, good for the Escort. Second attempt, and on the left foot, the weaker left foot, that did go wide.
Yeah, she swiveled, just couldn't quite get her hips around enough in terms of the direction on the second shot there, because the first shot's blocked and she just can't quite get her hips all the way around, so harder angle then to try and get at the shot across her body.
Daniel's goal kick only reaches a Welsh player, but Guiu wins back possession. Holland does that for Wales. Referee has played the advantage, and it was good refereeing that. The foul from Guiu came after the tackle from Ingle, and the referee had let the play run on, and Wales had the advantage. Pulled it back for a free kick.
That was good play, as you said, from the referee there. A couple of times Kane Holland's been down to the club, but not wanting to be getting injured as well. She's a real big, important member of that Liverpool side.
James, well, we know the quality of her delivery. More central this time around. Just lofts it in towards that area around the penalty spot. It's fallen to Holland. And back out to James. In it goes again, with Gemma Evans getting forward. Kelly Green goes for it, gives away the free kick.
Well, she was perfectly paced then, wasn't she, the referee? So close to the ball to be able to see. Not much in it for me either way, but that's the way it goes.
Good finish, by the way, from Kelly Green. And it will be available to see on the BBC Sport Wales website after this game, and on our social media services as well. That's a free kick against Holland, who seems puzzled by the decision. The Philippines have a free kick here. Here it is again, Gwenan.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that at all.
Seems shoulder to shoulder.
This is just an interesting tactic. I can't say I've seen that too regularly, where goalkeeper's taking it when you've got your two central defenders right by.
Driven in by McDaniel, away by Escorts, and Green is away. It's got Rowe in support, and it's Rowe against Caesar. She's got supporting Green again. Good first touch. Well, it was just too close to the goalkeeper. I thought for a moment she'd set herself up for a shot on goal.
Well, I'm going to be honest here, and the weight on the pass back from Rachel Rowe is nowhere near good enough. Basically a 2-on-1. By the time they get back, 3-on-2 situation, the weight of that pass has to be better. There's Kaylee Green and Hannah Kane running onto the ball.
Here is Kane. Up against Harrison. Wins the corner. Got great positivity, Hannah Kane, in her attacking runs, but this was the Rowe pass.
Yeah, just the weight on the pass isn't strong enough. It's got two players coming through. Kaylee Green's right-footed, so you want to try and play it onto her stronger foot if you can, so run it a little bit harder across.
You
can hear Gemma Granger barking orders at her players from the sidelines. And there's a player that's gone down in the middle. Referee has waved the play on, nothing wrong with it. There was a blue shirt that went down, and it's back with Hannah Kane. Woodham. Kane, nice pass to James. Another corner, is it? Bounces back towards Kane. Side netting. And we apologise for some of the choice language that you may have heard there. I think passions run quite high, don't they, in football? But not a bad attempt from Hannah Kane, in fact. just lashed a right foot at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she was shooting there. I think she was just trying to get some sort of contact, take it back across the goal. Just hope for a deflection, but you know, with all the talk of Wales in the final third, to be fair, credit to the Philippines. You know, they have been very organised, very disciplined in their shape, worked hard, and you know, they don't concede a huge amount of goals in their last 6 games. They haven't conceded more than 2 in any of those games. You know, playing up against sides like New Zealand, a good team, we know that. Chile, Costa Rica.
Another change here, and it's Kaya Hawkinson coming on, and Jessica Cowart being replaced. An entirely new team to the one that started, essentially. Ball goes over to Serrano. Caesar with a throw. 8 minutes to go, and Philippines they'll be saying to themselves, we're still in this, as it is still just 1-0. This is by no means a foregone conclusion, even though they haven't really threatened Safia Middleton-Patel in the Welsh goal all that much.
Well, anything's possible when the scoreline's 1-0. As I mentioned earlier, they're not a team that dominates games possession. They look for the counter, they sit back, there's 2 backs and 4. They're used to this style of play.
Randall with a tackle on Kane. Escort will take this throw. Wales will feel a bit better if they can get that second goal. They've come close. The throw was missed by Ingle, or left by Ingle. Rowe tried to recover. Evans has it to Ladd. Well, she isn't going to panic. That's one thing you can be certain of. Back to Middleton-Patel. A good distance on that clearance. Green. Well, no foul. The referee, if anything, was going to give it the other way. What do you say about Safia Middleton-Patel? The few touches that we have seen from her, a few saves that she's had to make, she doesn't look like a teenager. She does look beyond her years, I must say.
Yeah, I think
she's made the good decisions when she's had to.
Yeah, she has. I think she's confident goalkeeper. You can see that she's really adept with the ball at her feet as well. She's really positive. Wales wanted to play out from the back. So I haven't seen her really tested, have we? But she's shown glimpses.
Here's Kane. Gets the beating of Harrison. Kane sets up Green. Oh, could fall to Rowe. Wales desperate for that second. Escort. Kane goes down. Referee says get up. And the chance goes begging for Wales. Should she have got it alone, Hannah Kane?
Yeah, I think so.
It was unselfish play to look for Kaylee Green, but it was on her left side.
Yeah, and that's why I think so, because she's one of those players, actually, she's one of the only ones in the team that is just as confident on her left as she is on her right. Not much in that for me. As you said, the referee told her to get up, and I agree. That was soft. She was definitely looking for it, but yeah, just pull the trigger in those situations. If you've got a player that is literally standing on their own with an open goal, fair enough. But when you're a forward player in those situations, you have to have the confidence, belief about yourself to, back yourself in those situations.
Green towards James. Ingle to Escort. Rowe looking to just toe poke it to Harry James, who has to work hard to get back here. Well, it's not been vintage stuff in this Pinatar Cup. If Wales can walk away with the 3 points and start with a win, that is a bonus, that is a positive. One would suggest that tougher tasks are ahead, specifically Iceland on the weekend, and then Scotland. Ellis Hughes about to come on here, of Crystal Palace, player who spent 4 years at Everton. Another player who is still just 21 years of age, And it's Kaylee Green who makes way.
I would have liked to have seen Elise Hughes get a little bit more than 5 minutes to try and make an impact. But I'm pleased she's playing in this position as well, because she's been used in a number of different positions over the years. I remember her playing left back, actually, or left wing back when Wales played England. Rodney Parade against Nikita Paris, one of the quickest players in the game. And I felt for her that day, she was so young. And as a forward-minded player, it's not the type of player you want to be playing up against. So nice to see her playing in what I would say is her main position as a centre forward. She's got good hold-up play.
And this 17th cap, believe it or not. Escort with the throw. Looking for support, has it in Kane. Instead opts to go further downfield towards Rachel Rowe. James back to Hayley Ladd. Nice pass to Woodham in space, who's got license to get forward here. In support is Holland. Cuts in field. The first touch led her down there. We have seen her come in from that left-hand side and be really, really threatening.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the first touch of a number of Wales players this evening, unfortunately, in those areas, has let themselves down. And that's why then maybe they've had missed the opportunity to be in a better position going forward.
Escort. On the overlap, Holland is free if they can spot her. Elise Hughes spotting Woodham. And it does reach Kerry Holland. Here's James. Rachel Rowe. Again, another first time touch which just went awry. Case of Wales seeing the game out now. I'd love to get a second goal, but the result is the most important thing first and foremost.
Well, yeah, you are playing in a competition, so obviously Wales have got aspirations to win the competition, go as far as they can. But as we mentioned earlier, it is a friendly competition, so it's something where they'll be looking more at the performances rather than the results. If you can get both, that's an ideal situation.
Lily Woodham, I think she's done well tonight. Looked very comfortable on that left-hand side.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, Simon. I think she brings a lot to the team. Like to see her given the licence to get forward, a bit more joining in the attacks.
It's a lovely little layoff from Elise Hughes, releasing James, and this is a promising attack for Wales with Kerry Holland on the ball. To Rowe, tried the back heel, and the return to Holland just wasn't there. Woodham's trying to win back possession. A shame, because it opened up nicely for Wales.
Yeah, the invention was there, and actually Rachel Rowe did really good work originally. She held the run and then made the run across, so to drag the defenders with her, trying to be inventive with the back heel, but just wasn't on that occasion.
Well, during the replay, there seemed to be a bit of off-the-ball incident, a bit of pushing and shoving. Ingle and Serrano possibly. Well, that injury time board about to go up. I can't imagine. Well, there's been a fair few subs in fairness, so there will be some added time, but Wales just need to get the 3 points at this point now. Driven forward from McDaniel, away by Gemma Evans. Rowe has spotted Kane. Well, Kane has got bags of room. She may go it alone here. The cross in towards Elise Hughes, and McDaniel and her fellow defenders putting it out for a corner.
Yeah, it was a good piece of play from Wales. It's just that last touch by Hannah Kane here just takes her, that heavy touch just takes her a bit deeper than she would have liked to. Elise Hughes, love to see that. Good centre forward play, trying to make the run across the front post. Couldn't quite get on the end of it because of that heavy last touch by Hannah Kane.
And we're into the first of 2 minutes of added time. And Wales have a corner here. There we see Holland and Evans jostling for position inside that penalty area, jostling a bit too much, according to the referee. I think there was too much in that. Holland is saying, I'm being obstructed here. Well, Wales scored just before half-time. Can they score another just before full-time? Well, they're keeping the ball, perhaps understandably with a result to protect. And it's Ellis Hughes. Throw into Philippines.
Well, that says it all about the mindset. Simon, I can understand it is a competition. Like, Philippines have must have one shot on target. Haven't posed really any threat on goal. Why not attempt a corner?
Randall letting it go. The 2 minutes almost up. This will almost certainly be it, unless the referee feels that more time has to be played. Whistle in her mouth, and it is full time. And Wales have won their opening Pittar Cup game by a 1-0, courtesy of Kayleigh Green's penalty conversion after Rhiannon Roberts was fouled in the area. Admittedly, Philippines didn't offer an awful lot in front of goal, but a clean sheet as well for debutant goalkeeper Safia Middleton Patel is another bonus.
Huge bonus. Great to see Safia given her opportunity, and obviously to come away with that clean sheet.
Well, it's finished in the Pittar Cup. Victory for Wales. They've beaten Philippines by a 0-0.